कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ ठीक। राधे राधे. So we begin our 23rd session today on Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. We have covered 5 cantos. We are in the 6th canto, and we have completed about 12 or 13 chapters. We will see that later. Let us begin the session with the bhajan. So all these bhajans are composed by our Guru Maharaj, Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. They are extremely melodious and have unimaginable the, the sentiments, the meanings. This bhajan is about Srimati Radharani. Today is Radha Ashtami. Happy Radha Ashtami to all. And this bhajan is to glorify the daughter of Sri Vishvanu, Radharani. जय श्री विश्वभानु दुलार की, जय अलबेली सरकार की. All glories to Radha Rani, all glories to Albeli Sarkar. All glories to the one served by Nand Kumar, all glories to the one whose stock of mercy never runs out. All glories to the extremely innocent and gentle Radharani, all glories to the infinitely compassionate Radharani. All glories to the personification of Mahabhav, all glories to the shelter of the shelterless. All glories to the essence of Ladni Shakti, all glories to the personification of beauty and adornment. All glories to the protector of humble souls, all glories to the uplifter of sinners. All glories to the essence of love, beauty, and nectar. All glories to the one embellished with 16 adornments. All glories to Kripalu's merciful Somini, all glories to the life shelter of the gopis. जय श्री वृषभानु दुलार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की. जय श्री वृषभानु दुलार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की. जय स्वामी नंद कुमार की जय, अधा धुंध दरबार की. जय स्वामी नंद कुमार की जय, अधा धुंध दरबार की. जय अधा धुंध दरबार की. जय श्री वृषभानु दुलार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की. जय अति भोरी सुकुमार की जय, करुणा की भंडार की जय. अति भोरी सुकुमार की जय, करुणा की भंडार की. जय महाभाव साकार की जय, निराधार आधार की जय, निराधार आधार की. जय श्री वृषभानु दुलार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की जय, अलबेली सरकार की. जय शक्ति लादिनी सार की जय, मूरत रूप सिंगार की. जय शक्ति लादिनी सार की जय, मूरत रूप सिंगार की. जय मूरत रूप सिंगार की, जय दीनन की रखवार की, जय पतितन की पतवार की, जय दीनन की रखवार की, जय पतितन की पतवार की, जय पतितन की पतवार की, जय श्री वृषभानु दुलार की, जय अलबेली सरकार की, जय अलबेली सरकार की। जय प्रेम रूप रस सार की, जय छवि सोरह सिंगार की, जय प्रेम रूप रस सार की, जय छवि सोरह सिंगार की, जय छवि सोरह सिंगार की, जय मम कृपालु सरकार की, जय सखियन प्राणाधार की, जय मम कृपालु साकार की, जय मम कृपालु सरकार की, जय सखियन प्राणाधार की, जय सखियन प्राणाधार की, जय श्री वृषभानु दुलार की, जय अलबेली सरकार की, जय अलबेली सरकार की, जय अलबेली सरकार की। बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundananji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now let us read from chapter in the sixth canto. We will read from chapter 10. From the first chapter and then to the ninth chapter, what have we covered? We have covered, sorry, I got confused with another session. We are in the sixth canto, and we have covered so far the story of Ajamil, how Ajamil was saved by the Vishnu Dut, how the conversation took place between the Vishnu Dut and Yam Dut. Ajamil had a great past, but because of Kusang, he had fallen into the serious transgression, and that led to so many problems with him. But his past and the fact that he chanted the name of Narayan, the Lord, because his son's name was Narayan, that came to his rescue, and the Vishnu Duts came and saved him and gave him another chance. He atoned for the sins that he committed. He performed austerities, and finally he could redeem himself, and he realized the spiritual goals. That was the beginning of this canto with the story of Jamil, and then the story changed to the population, the creation, how after the creation is made by Brahmaji, he wants the population to grow, and he is asking the Prajapatis to produce children. So in the Chakshus Manvanta, that is the sixth Manvanta, there is this personality called Daksh Prajapati. He is the same Daksh Prajapati. He also appeared in the first Manvantar, that is the Swayambhu Manvantar of this Kalp. There he had this tussle with his son-in-law, Lord Shiv. His head was chopped by Veerbhadra and the Ganas, and a goat's head was added on his body. That was the same Daksh Prajapati who has now been reborn in the Chakshus Manvanta, and he is in charge for the propagation of population at the instance of Brahmaji. So he produces 10,000 children, but those children were preached by Naradji in a very cryptic way, and they became sannyasis. They didn't want to get into the Garhast ashram. The same happened with the next 1,000 children, and this caused Daksh Prajapati to curse Naradji. Finally, 60 daughters were born to him, and those daughters, they became the progenitor for all the population in the world. Some of these daughters were married to Kashyap ji, and one of the daughters was Diti, another daughter was Aditi. Aditi's sons, they are called Adityas, and Diti's sons, they are called Datyas. The two sons of Diti, Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu, they are well known. They were killed by the Lord in Satyayug. So that is the story of population we read in the fourth and the fifth chapter and the sixth chapter. And again the story changes, and this time it is about Biraspati ji, who is the teacher, the guru for the Devatas. So Biraspati ji, once he visited Indra, but Indra was so busy with his participation in the functions that he ended up disrespecting Biraspati ji, and Biraspati ji left Devlok. Now the Devlok was without the guru, so they appointed Vishwarup, who is the son of Twasta, and he is one of the sons of Kashyap ji. Now, Vishwarup ji is a unique personality. He has 3 heads. He is very much expert in all the Vedic mantras, and he is being prompted to strengthen the Devatas so that they could recover their glories from the Daityas. But what happened? Vishwarup's mother came from the Daitya lineage. So some of the mantras he chanted in favor of the Daityas. Indra came to know about it, and he severed the head of Vishwarup and finally repented, because this was Brahma Hatya, killing of a Brahmin. So those stories we read in the 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter, we read about Narayan Kavach, which is a great armor to protect oneself. Also, we learned how the Devatas approached the Dichi, and from his bones, the weapon was made, the Vajra Thunderbolt weapon was made, and that weapon could kill Vritrasur, the demon who had been commissioned to to protect the Daityas. Finally, how Vritrasur was killed, those details we read. And again, Indra ended up doing a Brahmatya. And then we learned about the past glories of Vritrasur. So we have covered these chapters so far. Now let us see what are the chapters for today. So let us have the text displayed, and we will read from the text. Try to understand the summary of these stories, and then we will engage in some interactive session. So Santosh ji, you are able to display the text. Yes. Actually, you start from the beginning. We will cover the prayers also.
Okay.
So just you can open the PPT. We will quickly do the prayers, and then systematically we go through the
You are
text
able
one
to
by
see
one.
that?
I think it has not yet appeared, but maybe on the way. You need to share, click the share button, and then, yeah. Okay, now I see the chapters. The chapters that we had covered
Everyone
were,
able to see?
yes, it's appearing, not yet fully, but opening up now. Somehow the picture is not clear.
Background, due to the background color, not able to.
Yeah, so you can fix the background.
No, that is the PPT background, so we cannot do anything in this.
Oh, can anybody read it? I don't think so. Just check the next one.
This is the prayer that you sing. You remember it anyway,
No, I remember,
Nasagre.
but
Yeah,
I
Kasturi
just
Tilak
wanna,
Lalat.
let us see the next one.
Yeah, we can see.
So
Yeah, the background color is little bit dark.
they perhaps they have while preparing they couldn't take care. But let's see the text, whether the text can be read or not.
Yep, in this one, that's fine. We can read it.
Okay. Okay, so let us begin. Vasudeva Sutam Devam. Okay, let's begin. Kasturi Tilakam Lalaju Pachale Vakchastale Kaustubham Nasagre Varmoktikam Kartale Venu Kare Kankanam Sarvange Harichandanam Sulalitam Kanthe cha Muktavali Gopastri Parivestito Vijayate Gopal Churamani Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kanse Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Now, those were the next two slides. So please scroll. And now let me open my side also so that I can read it more clearly. So there was a slide about all the chapters in the Canto 6. I covered some just now, that there are 19 chapters in Canto 6, introduction of Ajamil, conversation between Vishnu Dut and Yamdut, the messengers of Yam, how they question Lord Yamraj, and then the blessings of Prajapati Daksh, and how Daksha Prajapati, he produced the children, and the children became sannyasis, and how Daksha cursed Narad Muni. Then the daughters of Daksh getting married to the rishis and other personalities, and about their lineage. Then Indradev gets a new preceptor called Vishwarup, Narayan Kavach episode. The Devatas approach Supreme Lord, and Lord advises them to visit, to go to the Dichi Rishi and use the bones from the Dichi Rishi's body to make the thunderbolt weapon. Battle between Indra and Vritrasur, and how Vritrasur challenged Indra and slaying of Vritrasur, how Indra repented, and then the legend of Chitraketu. That was the story we had completed so far in the previous session. Today we will read the chapter 16, which is Chitraketu's prayers. So just to remember, when Indra saw Vritrasur had so much of ethics when he engaged in the war, and he also had spoken such words of wisdom, so he was very sure that he is not an ordinary personality. He must be a devotee of the Lord. So now their story unfolds. Vritrasur, the demon, indeed was a great personality. He was Chitraketu in his previous life. He was the king of the Vidyadhar. We are all human beings, but there are other species in the other lokas, higher lokas. They are Vidyadhar, Charan, Siddha, Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnar. So Vidyadhars are also extremely exalted people. So Chitraketu was the leader of Vidyadhar, and how he was cursed to become a Daitya, that story will unfold. So let us read the text. Now the clarity is back. So the next slide, we will start reading the text, which is the chapter 16, Chitraketu's prayers. As the mourning period was still going on, Narad Muni with his yogic powers showed the soul of the departed child traveling to the other world, to the king and all others. So those who are joining for the first time, or maybe they don't remember the story, let me just repeat here. So Chitraketu had 10 million wives, but not a single son. So this is how Bhagavad Mahapuran explains the play of destiny. 10 million wives, but not a single son. So Chitraketu used to be so sad. He was so morose. And then he was visited by the rishis. So Angira Rishi advised him to accept it as his destiny and don't feel unhappy about it. He has got so many different opulences. Let him learn to accept the destiny. That was the message. But Chitraketu was not willing to listen to Angira Rishi. He insisted that a son must be born to him and you must help me. So Angira said, okay, since this is your position, you will have a son, but he will bring both happiness and miseries. Chitraketu accepted that, and in the course of time, a son was born to his first queen, Kritya Dviti, and now that queen became a favorite of the king, and he was so exuberant about the birth of his son. And other queens became extremely jealous of the first queen, and finally they conspired to kill the baby. So his son was killed in course of time, and again Chitraketu was so miserable. So that is where he was lamenting and he was being consoled. So Narad Muni is there to console him. So let's read Chitraketu's prayers. As the mourning period was still going on, Narad Muni with his yogic powers showed the soul of the departed child traveling to the other world, to the king and all others. Narad Muni requested the child's soul to take pity on his parents and the other people who were in deep grief caused by separation from him. He requested the soul to enter the body again, as it was an untimely death, and rule over the kingdom and enjoy the luxuries of the kingdom once he becomes a king. However, the soul of the child replied that he no longer recognizes them as his parents, as they were in different relations with the soul in the previous lives. Just like gold passes through many owners, so does the soul pass through different lives with different parents. All relations are temporary and limited to that particular physical body only. The jeev manifests with a human body by the means of the three gunas, while the soul should only be the witness for the body and remains independent from the temporary body. Now, if any one of you would like to read the next slide, you can raise your hand. So the second slide. Okay, Upender ji, please read the second slide.
Sorry, it's not displaying my name correctly for some reason. This is Mohit again.
Sorry. So Mohit ji,
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Rajesh ji. Let me
no
read it.
problem. Please.
This makes the jiva everlasting and free from birth or death. With this reply, the child soul then disappeared and everybody calmed down, got detached, and stopped their mourning. The jewelers' queens, realizing their sin, were very much ashamed and performed penance for it. As per Narad Muni instruction, Chitraketu, after the funeral rites, recited the following prayer as taught to him for 7 days with full concentration of the mind, consuming only water. Highlights: Hail to the divine Vasudeva, Pradyuman, Aniruddha, and Shankarasana, who preside over intellect, reason, mind, and ego, respectively. Hail to you who are different to duality, Maya, and has the very cosmos as your body. Hail to the Brahma from which creation evolves and dissolves. He who pervades all creation, just like earth pervades all earthen vessels. I bow to the transcendent, transcendent reality, which the organ fails to perceive, that reality which energizes, charges the jivas to conduct activities. So there is no question of the jiva knowing the supreme Brahma, the energizer, the source of their activities. Hail to the Shankarasana, the beloved spouse of the goddess Mahalakshmi, and whose lotus feet are softly kneaded by some principal devotees with the lotus buds of their hands.
Thank you very much. Let us have Sheila ji to read the next slide. Please unmute.
After 7 days, Chitraketu attained the position of lordship of Vidyadhars, and with repeated repetition of the aforesaid prayer, he got the darshan of Lord Seish. The Lord was fully resplendent in his full glory and surrounded by Siddheshwars. This darshan wiped out the sins and the impurities of Chitraketu. Chitraketu was dumbstruck for some time seeing the Lord, and after composing himself, he devotedly extols the preceptor of the universe as O unconquerable one, you stand conquered by your devotees alone. Creation, maintenance, and resolution of the universe is a mere sport for you. All your manifestations, like Brahma, try in vain to outshine one another. You exist at all times, in all sizes, in all creation, and also bear the full creation within you. Ignorant is the soul who worships the Devatas for some small and temporary pleasures. A jeev, entreating you devotedly, will slowly go beyond the three gunas and become free from transmigration. You preach the flawless Bhagwat Dharma, which even the great Sanat Kumars resort to for attainment of loving devotion. This is considered as the Panchakam. Fifth, Purusharth, other four are Arth, Kam, Moksha, and Dharma. Following rituals, one gets temporary results and creates the idea of I, you, yours, and mine. So rituals are in no way helpful in attaining you. Only way to attain you is with devotion. Your name and sight will definitely cut the cords of bondage. You have ensured and kept the word of your most celebrated devotee, Narad, by blessing us with your sight. You remain omnipotent, omniscient, and whose true nature cannot be easily understood by the pleasure seekers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So there are a couple of other slides also, if you can display them. So we just read the prayers of Chitraketu, who was visited by Lord Sankarshan. So we keep hearing about this personality, Sankarshan. We also hear about Aniruddha. We also hear about Pradyumna and Vasudev. So who are these personalities? They are called Chaturvyu. So this was a question in the last session. Who are the Chaturvyu? What is their significance? This is not a very simple topic to discuss, but with whatever little I've been trying, let me share that. I had attached some slides. So if you can display that, otherwise I'll just try to talk about it from my collection. So, voice is cracking.
It was
Is the voice okay? So if it cracks again, then I'll switch over to the hand phone. So let me read here. Just go down, please. So go down. Yes, keep going down. Yeah. So this is one slide. So as we understood, we can easily identify ourselves as the son or the daughter of our father. There is absolutely no problem in recognizing that. Many of us have seen our grandfather, so we can recognize our grandfather also. I never saw my grandfather. I've seen my maternal grandfather. Yeah, that's the only grandparent I have seen. And some people have even seen their great grandfather. So these personalities we have seen. But think about the great grandfather of the great grandfather. Or think about the great grandfather of that great grandfather. And keep going back into time. You know, we will have such an interesting chain of imagination, that how these personalities would have been, where they would be living, what kind of people they would be. But that's the reality. If we keep going back into thousands of years, 10,000s of years, 1 million years, so who can give the accurate information? If we go by the popular books and whatever is taught, they say the man originated somewhere in Africa. Some people say we originated from, the monkeys. And there are so many contradictions in those theories that those theories don't hold water. But theory which we are reading here is the creation is eternal, but within each Brahmand, there is a Manvanta and there is a personality called Manu. So if we keep going back, father of the father of the father of the father of the father, we will reach Manuji. He is our ancestral father. And Manuji is the son of Brahma. And Brahmaji emerged from Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And Garbhodakshai Vishnu appeared from Karnodakshai Vishnu, which is also called Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu appeared from those Chaturvyu and Narayan and Balram, those personalities. And Balram, he is the expansion of Lord Krishna. But who is above Sri Krishna? No one. So we reach Sri Krishna at the end of the creation. That is why Sri Krishna is called the cause of all causes. This is what we should remember. And how many universes are there? There are infinite universes. We are only talking about one universe, one Brahman. So now we know how many personalities and how many millions and billions, and in fact, infinite number of personalities. So in this chart, you can see Krishna, who resides in Golok, he manifests into a form called Narayan. Then the first Chaturvyu expansion, Sankarshan, Vasudev, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna. Now they are the personalities.
Your voice is breaking again, Rajesh.
Oh. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me switch over to my handphone. Just
It's better now for
give
some
me a
reason.
few seconds. Okay, but anyway, I'll switch over the switch over to. And I will have to mute this. Oh, please tell me if you can hear me.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, so I have two devices now. So yeah, so I was talking about this hierarchy: Krishna, Narayan, the first Chaturvyu, the second Chaturvyu, and Sadashiv. Sadashiv is like the personality from whom all the different forms of Shiva will be expanded. So like you have Mahavishnu, above all Vishnus. So similarly, above all Shivas is Sadashiv. And but if you read some other scriptures, the same fact will be presented in a little different manner. So these concepts will not become very clear. So let's not get very much daunted by this esoteric knowledge. Let us just remember that we have Man, Buddhi, Chit, and Ahankar. What are these four states? Man means the mind. We wish to do something. That kind of a inclination or the thought process, that is governed by mind. And what is Buddhi? So the mind desires to do something, and Buddhi is like the governing element. The Buddhi says, no, this is not good for you. You have such a bad sore throat, so don't eat, don't consume ice cream. So the mind wanted to eat ice cream, but the Buddhi is controlling. So we know what is mind, what is Buddhi. Ahankar is the feeling that I am there. I am the person who is sitting in Singapore now in this session, and I am the person who was in India 1 month back. So that identity is called Ahankar. And Chitta is when the mind gets resident, fixed on a particular theme or a subject. That state of mind is called Chitta. So Ahankar, the Adhisthata, the presiding deity is Sankarshan. Man, it is Aniruddha. Buddhi, it is Pradyumna. And Chitta, it is Vasudev. Roughly, this is what I remember, but you do some self-study to understand yourself. Can we go to the next slide? So in the next slide, you can see the four four Chaturvyu personalities: Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So the various qualities which are mentioned are objective, subjective, qualities, phases, states, antarang, yog, cognition, sonic elements. So this is very interesting because Vasudev, the objective is Brahma, the absolute Godhead. Sankarshan, it is Ishwar, the supreme God. Pradyum, it is Hiranyagarbha, the world self, the collection of jivas. Aniruddha is Viraj, the manifested cosmos. In the heading called subjective, the four are described as the supreme self, the cognizer of the unmanifested latent objectivity, the experience of the subtle levels of possibility, the experience of gross things. In the gunas, Vasudev have all six: Sankarshan, Gyan, Bal, Pradyumna, Ashwarya, Virya, Aniruddha, Shakti, Tejas. Phases of manifestation: Vishranti, latent, Uday, emerging, Vyapti, pervading, Vyakti, individuation. States of consciousness: Vasudev is Turiya, Sankarshan is Sushupti or Pragya, Pradyumna is Swapna or Tejas, Aniruddha is Jagrit and Vishwa. Antarang, it is Samadhi, Dhyan, Dharana and Pratyahar. Cognition, it is wisdom, mind, senses and external objects, which is Gyan, then Alasya, Indriya and Ashraya, Indriya and Earth. Sonic. So the sound element is also represented differently by these four: Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vakhari. So right now when I am talking to you, it is called Vakhari. The sound is articulated. But if it is not being spoken to others, you are hearing internally, that is called Madhyama. That comes under Pradyumna. And you are only visualizing in the mind, that comes under Sankarshan, that is called Pashyanti. And if it is only meditation, that is called Para. So there are four levels of sound: Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama and Vakhari. Then the elements are Vayu Tattva, Tejas, Apa Tattva and Bhu Tattva. That is air, fire, water, earth. So this is one way to understand the importance of these four Chaturvyu personalities. Let's see the next one. So similarly, as we understood, the Lord who is Purush will agitate the Prakriti. The Mahatattva will be manifested, which will lead to Ahankar. And then Ahankar, which combines with the Rajas and, Rajas and Sattvic and Tamasic. Those three will lead to the mind and the subtle elements and the gross elements. So all these we can study at leisure on our own. Let's see the next one in the interest of time. Again, there is another chart, and I'm very grateful to those who have put the charts on the internet. So let us show our gratitude to them. So here also, the four Chaturvyuhas are represented in a different way. Like Pradyumna, the manifestations are Trivikrama, Vaman, Sridhar. Sankarshan is Govind, Vishnu, Madhusudan. Vasudev is Keshav, Narayan, Madhava. Aniruddha is Rishikesh, Padmanabh, Damodar. So these also we can read at leisure. And the next one is again the understanding of the 25 tattvas in the Sankhya chart: Purush, Mula Prakriti, Mahat, Ahankar, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So we have to repeatedly read different slides and get the some elements of understanding. Let us go to the key takeaways for today. So I just took a verse from Bhagwat Gita, chapter 10, verse 6. Maharshaya sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesam loka ima prajaha. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna says, the 7 great sages, the 4 great saints before them, and the 14 Manus are all born from my mind. From them, all the people in the world have descended. So, Bhagavad Gita, the Lord gives just a summary. The 7 Saptarishis, Pulaha, Pulastya, Vasishtha, Angira, and in the actually the Saptarishis change in every Manvantar. In the current Manvantar, there are other personalities like Jamdagni, etc. So those Saptarishis and the 4 great saints before them, that is Sanat Sanatan, Sanak Sanandan, and the 14 Manus. So in each Kalp, there will be 14 Manus. Now the current Manu is Vaivaswat, he is the 7th Manu. The 6th Manu was Chakshus. The first Manu in this Kalp was Swayambhu Manu. So this is the learning from Bhagavad Gita, and the last slide, I presume. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So in the 10th chapter, 8th verse, the Lord says, I am the origin of all creation. Everything proceeds from me. The wise who know this perfectly worship me with great faith and devotion. So this is the summum bonum. We don't have to do much learning, or let the learning come in a nice, natural way. We should understand the Lord is beyond our comprehension, but everything in the universe is happening because of Him. I am functioning because of the Lord. My heart is beating because of God. My voice is coming because of God. Who created this body? God. Who is giving me the energy? God. Because the soul is present and soul is a part of God. As long as we remember that and we move with baby steps towards devotion and spiritual knowledge, we would have attained everything. Considering the time limitations, I would like to hand over to Santosh ji for the rest of the session.
Radhe Radhe everyone. So if anyone is having any question, you can ask. It is the question answer session.
So you can remove the display and let's have the interactive session.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So I see one hand, that is.
Yeah, Radha Rajesh Bhaiya. I'm Aparna and Vijay. So we are just traveling to Leicester, so I just joined through phone. Thank you for the session. We have been like waiting for this topic to begin like from last weekend. And meanwhile, we just went through some spiritual channels where we watched whatever you have told us regarding Prajapati and all those things. So we could also relate those to your teachings, and it was just very much understandable after your classes. So in that sense, it is very nice. I have a question for you. So we have been actually seeing one of the spiritual content, and there it was, I mean, I always knew the form of Krishna and how all the hierarchy started from him, like we discussed today. Krishna and then Narayan and then all those hierarchy siblings. But in that channel, they were just saying some differences between Shiv Puran and the Vishnu Puran. And in Shiv Puran, they have mentioned that Shiva is the father of Lord Shiva, is the father of Lord Vishnu. But as we know, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, these are the superior Purans, and these describes the truest form of Lord Narayan and Lord Krishna. So, yeah, I just want to understand, like, I mean, I understand that we need to follow this, but as per the Shiv Puran, I mean, why it has been described like that?
Yeah, so the answer is what we have heard so many times. when you read Shiv Puran, the focus of the Puran is on Lord Shiv. So he will be glorified as the Supreme. And this is the complex nature of the scriptures. There will be so many contradictions. And as if, you are tested for your faith. So let us not be surprised when we read Shiv Puran. Everyone will fall under Lord Shiv. If we read Durga, Devi Puran, which is about goddess Durga, there she will be depicted as the Supreme Personality. So let us not be surprised, because there is a saying, there is a verse from Ramcharitmanas, Shruti Puran Bahu Kahe Upai Chute Na Adhik Adhik Arujhai. These Shruti, these scriptures, they are so complex and they are so contradictory that our mind will be rattled, trying to understand them on our own. So whenever such doubts arise, we should immediately stop the chattering of the mind and approach our guru. He will clarify the subject. Otherwise, on our own, the interpretations will be very difficult to understand. So, but in a nutshell, as I said, if you read a particular Puran, that personality will be shown as the highest, but there are hidden meanings. As far as calling Lord Shiv as father, even in the Ramayana Kal, when Shri Ram was there in Treta, if you remember, when he was going into the battle with Ravan, he passed by Rameshwaram and he made a statue of Lord Shiv and he worshipped him. So he was considering Lord Shiv as his guru. So somebody can take that and say Lord Shiv is superior to Ram. So these roles keep changing. Sometimes Lord Shiv will worship the Lord, and sometimes the Lord will become a student. They keep changing in different contexts, in different eras, in different yugas. So we should not get influenced by them. We should know that Lord is one and he plays different types of leelas. But in a nutshell, we should always approach Guru. He will resolve all these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaiya. And I mean, this question actually arises because Vedavyasi has written Shiv Puran and he also written the Bhagavatam. So that's why the question arises there. But we are always focused towards.
When we call Vedavyas ji, what is that famous street in London? Sheffield Street, no?
No, Regent Street. Regent Street, Bhaiya.
Regent Street and Oxford the one which
Street.
is close to Paddington, Oxford Street, where
Oxford
that ISKCON devotees are always dancing. Let us catch hold of Vyasdev ji there in one of the sessions. We call him and let's question him jointly.
But can I say something, Bhaiya? Maharaj ji always says that Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate, if I remember correctly. And those of you who follow Sri Maharaj ji would probably also say.
Maharaj ji will also say that every scripture is glorious. Every scripture, because they are all about godly personality, God. So we don't have to go into like which is superior, which is less superior. We have to acknowledge that we cannot understand all these contradictions. Why don't we try to understand those elements which we can understand, and then slowly we can see the knowledge and the complexities getting resolved. So this is my experience also. Let's not get daunted by the difficult aspects of the knowledge. Let's begin with the low hanging fruits, and then you can see the grace from the Lord happening, and that will help us to resolve these issues. But I definitely would like to request Vedavyas ji to appear in Oxford Street once, so that all of us can call him into, that roti chai restaurant, right? Very famous. We can call him there.
Yeah, but it's true because I think, as Maharajji says always, we shouldn't take our intellect, I mean, just to, in bhakti, we shouldn't let the intellect take over it. So let it be separate and do bhakti. And it should be like Nishkam and Ananya Bhakti. So, yeah, I mean, I truly follow that, but yeah, sometimes it
कितना कुछ
comes.
नहीं समझ पाए हैं ना. We have not been able to understand
Exactly.
nothing.
Yes,
We don't
yes,
even
yes.
understand our own spouse. We are married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. We don't understand their spouse. We don't
That
understand
is
the
true.
children. You
Yes.
keep saying, मुझे नहीं पता था कि तुम ऐसे हो. The husband says, मुझे नहीं पता
Yeah,
था कि
right.
तुम ऐसी हो. We don't even know our spouses whom we live very well, and we are trying to understand the personality of God, who is the Anant Koti Brahmand Nayak. So this kind of a thought itself is laughable in my opinion.
Exactly. Yes.
If it comes to my mind or anyone's mind. So Lord is himself saying in Bhagwat Gita, Name vidu surgana prabhavam namarshaya. The greatest sages, the greatest devatas cannot understand me. Brahmaji said to Narayan, I don't know who is the brain behind this creation. Brahmaji, who could create this universe out of nothing, he is admitting that he doesn't know. So we should first try to understand the basic elements, and who knows, by the grace of God, we will learn. Thank you.
That is true. Thank you so much, Rajeshri. I mean, whatever you have said now is actually accurate and to the point. There is nothing beyond that. I mean,
Thank you so much.
Mayavad persons cannot understand, surely.
Yeah, we all try to just repeat whatever Sri Maharaji has said, and I will continue to do that to the best of my ability. So let us hear from anyone else.
Any other question, please?
There's a new person today called Rakshita. Could we hear from her, please?
Rakshita ji, please unmute and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rakshita. I live in Halsden in Northwest London.
Thank you so much and welcome to the group. Hope you enjoyed the session. Will you have something to contribute or to say about the session, about your thoughts?
It's just helping me just positivity and just because my father was very religious as well, so it's just keeps reminding me all the things that we have been communicating with them, like in past years. So he was a follower of Arya Samaj, and my mom follows this path of Sanatan. But Hinduism is the same, I think so. It's similar things.
Yeah.
So been enjoying the session. Thank you so much.
Hinduism is the same, but it has so many different interpretations. As you mentioned, Arya Samaj, it's another branch, and they did not want to worship the idol. So there are so many stories which we can discuss as we go along. But welcome once again. Let's hear from anyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sheila ji, Hema ji, and
once again a really good session. I have to get to grips with all the four, like Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Pradyumna, and the others. I still can't remember the names either.
Vasudev and Anirudh.
Vasudev and Anirudh, sorry. So I have to try and figure that bit out, and we'll watch the slides again and again and see what they represent and what they mean. Thank you, Bhaiya. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
So we are on time. Anyone is having any other
Yes,
question?
me. Radhe Radhe, everyone. Happy Radha Ashtami. It's like Rajesh Bhaiya said, there's one God, different manifestations. but we have to choose which one we wish to worship. But it's just one God. Different manifestations, different lineage, different hierarchies. So for me, Canto 6 has just been absolutely mind-blowing. Sitting in the class, and then we also have the YouTube recordings, and Rajesh Bhaiya, you recently put a summary of what we've done in Canto 6 on the YouTube video, so that was very beneficial as well. And as well as the Swamiji's Bhagwatam videos on the YouTube channel as well, because I think we're up to number 7 now on that. So those are really, really beneficial with concreting the knowledge of the Bhagwatam and how to put it into practice every day. So I'm looking forward to the repetition of Canto 6, Canto 7, Prahlad. That is just I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep myself on the chair. So that's it, Radhe Radhe. But it's one God. Just remember that one. How we choose
That's
to worship.
Yes, it's a very important point Hemaji conveyed. Let's always believe there is only one God. Sometimes one personality will be in one context shown as the superior personality, but they are all the same in different yugas, in different time frames, in different contexts. Their stories may appear contradictory. So whether we hear Shiv or Ram or Krishna or Buddha or Parshuram or Vara or Meen, they are all one. Whether it's Radha or Durga or Kali or Parvati or Lakshmi, they are all one. Radha and Krishna are one and the same. So the only difference you can say, Krishna is the energetic and Radha is the energy. So there is a subtle difference between energy and energetic, but they are still considered the same. Only that subtle difference is for a specific purpose, which as we go deeper, we will understand. Similarly, in different religions, the names Allah, Khuda, Ahur Mazda, Sat Shri Akal, Zoroaster, different names we hear, but they are all one God. Okay? As long as we remember that and don't get deluded by the contradictions, we will make great advances. Thank you so much. Over to Santosh ji for all his efforts. Thank you so much, Santosh ji, and over to you for conclusion.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. Thanks for joining this program, and we'll meet again next Saturday. Radhe Radhe. Radhe
Thank you.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
बोलिए
Radhe
श्रीमद
Radhe.
सद्गुरु सरकार
Sadhguru
की
Sarkar
जय,
जय।
ki jai.
सरकार की जय,
Jai.
जय जय श्री राधे,
Radhe.
जय जय
Jai
श्री
Jai Jai
राधे,
Shri
Radhe.
जय जय
जय
श्री
श्री
राधे.
Radhe. Oh God.
Radhe Radhe everyone.